autour des années 2000, dans un coup de lucidité, je suis allée me faire un ensemble d'examens, mammographie, frottis, et tout l'ensemble des choses. Ce qu'après, pendant quelques mois, j'ai regretté, parce que quand je suis sortie de là, tout le monde avait l'air catastrophé parce qu'effectivement, sur la mammographie, on avait noté qu'il y avait une chose qui pouvait ressembler à une tumeur. C'était début janvier, on m'a opérée et quand je me suis réveillée dans ma chambre, le chirurgien qui m'avait opérée a fait la première erreur. Il est venu me dire que tout s'était très bien passé et que je pouvais dormir sur mes 2 oreilles et que tout allait bien. Mais quand même, il fallait que je passe dans 15 jours le voir pour avoir le résultat des analyses. 15 jours après, je suis donc allée voir ce monsieur, convaincu que tout allait bien. Et deuxième erreur, dans la salle d'attente, il me regarde et il me dit « Ma pauvre dame, j'ai pas de bonnes nouvelles pour vous. » Et il a commencé un monologue. Je suis désolée, je vais faire ceci, je vais faire cela, je fais de la chimio, je fais de la radiothérapie, je réopère, badabi, badaba. Donc il faisait tout, je. Donc à un moment, je me suis dit, c'est génial, s'il le fait sur lui et s'il ne le fait pas sur moi, ça va très très bien se passer. Et comme j'étais quand même choquée, et quand je suis choquée, je peux devenir assez vite agressive, je l'ai envoyé balader, en lui disant tout simplement, eh ben, je ne ferai rien de tout ça, et je veux mon dossier médical, et je m'en vais de cet hôpital de point de suspension. J'ai commencé à faire le goémillot des cancérologues de Paris. C'est-à-dire que j'en ai vu 1, j'en ai vu 2, j'en ai vu 3, j'en ai vu 4 et j'en ai vu 5. À chaque fois, j'avais un petit carnet et à chaque fois, je faisais une croix. Qui voulait réopérer, qui voulait faire de la radiothérapie, qui voulait faire ce que j'appelais bretelles et ceintures, c'est-à-dire réopération, chimio et radiothérapie. Et je me suis rendu compte d'une chose. Et là, ça a été ma première grande surprise. C'est que moi, je suis quelqu'un profondément naïf. Et je fais confiance. Donc pour moi, la médecine était une science exacte. Quand je me suis retrouvée face à des gens qui ne me disaient pas la même chose, j'ai eu cette chose incroyable de me rendre compte que c'était pas exact. Et comme pour moi, c'était le corps, c'est une voiture, je vais chez le mécanicien, il me change le delco, il me remet la batterie et tout va bien, c'était pas du tout comme ça l'histoire. Donc j'étais pas fière parce que je savais pas trop ce qu'il fallait que je fasse et pas. Et je regardais ce bon sang de carnet avec ses croix et je me disais mais qu'est-ce que je peux bien faire avec ça? Le dernier que j'ai vu, le professeur Turtz, avait l'air d'être un peu plus humain.
J'étais dans mon cabinet de consultation à la Villejuif et je reçois une nouvelle patiente qui se présente, qui est manifestement à la fois vive, intelligente, caustique, mais, mais clairement pas à l'aise et agressive qui est clairement ce qu'on appelle une patiente difficile.
Quelques jours auparavant, des amis à moi m'avaient invité à partir en Inde. Cocotier, plage, tranquille. Et vraiment, quand je suis montée dans l'avion, j'étais soulagée, je savais que pendant 15 jours, on ne me parlerait plus de ce maudit cancer. Et mes amis savaient que personne n'avait le droit d'en parler et qu'il ne fallait pas prononcer ce mot. Je suis dans l'avion, je suis assise à côté d'une dame gentille qui elle aussi elle est au même endroit que nous. Et on commence à papoter dans l'avion. Ah, vous n'êtes jamais allé en Inde, vous allez voir, c'est merveilleux. C'est un pays magnifique. Et vraiment, elle me raconte ça. Et je lui dis, vous allez... Mais vous connaissez bien? Et elle me dit, oui, je soigne ma leucémie. Et là, il y a eu un truc qui est toujours là d'ailleurs, qui était « Ouf, ça y est, je sais où il faut aller ». C'était très très clair. Quand je suis rentrée à Paris, j'ai mis 48 heures. J'avais juste 48 heures avant de retourner à Villejuif. Je suis retournée à Villejuif et le professeur Turtz me dit « Qu'est-ce que vous avez décidé ?» Et je lui dis « Écoutez, voilà, j'ai décidé que j'ai rencontré en Inde la médecine ayurvédique. Je pense que je vais suivre ce filon, mais pour ne pas prendre de risques, je veux bien faire de la radiothérapie. »
J'en entends plus parler pendant plusieurs années. Et un jour, je reçois un coup de téléphone. Je reçois un coup de téléphone par le biais de multiples secrétariats. Elle m'a directement au téléphone. Et elle est chaleureuse, elle est expansive. Elle me dit, voilà, je suis née là-bas. Est-ce que vous vous souvenez de moi? Bien sûr, je me souviens de vous. Vous êtes la pire patiente que j'ai jamais eue, la plus indisciplinée, la plus... Oui, je me souviens très bien. Et oui. On se revoit et on a une conversation très étrange où elle m'explique que je l'ai guérie par ma parole et par ma compréhension et en ne faisant rien du tout, mais qu'elle a été aussi guérie par le fait qu'elle allait en Inde, qu'elle avait rencontré des personnes extraordinaires qui pratiquaient des traitements ayurvédiques et qu'elle avait été comprise, qu'elle avait eu des médicaments que son corps acceptait, même que son corps demandait et réclamait.
Et il me dit oui, il faut quand même que vous m'expliquiez ce qu'ils vous ont fait là-bas. Je lui dis très volontiers et il me provoque en me disant non, vous n'allez pas m'expliquer, vous allez m'emmener en Inde pour comprendre un peu quel traitement, ce qui s'était passé. Je lui ai dit absolument d'accord. Je serais ravie de vous faire rencontrer ces gens exceptionnels qui le sont tout autant que vous. Et donc, quelques années plus tard, nous avons réussi à organiser ce voyage en Inde. Hello.
Namaste.
How are you?
Hi. I'm so pleased. May I introduce you to French doctor
Glad to meet you.
and
Pleased to meet you.
my Indian angel? It's okay if I
Thank
call
you.
you like that?
Thank you.
My Indian angel.
She's not calling me her French angel at all.
No, it's not.
But
But I think later she will do.
you promise?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I did a long trip to see you. And
And
a long
I have
trip,
been- I have
a
been
real
also
long
waiting
trip
for you.
in time and in spirit. So
Yeah.
we'll see what it will give.
Okay. Let us see how it goes. I would,
Thank you very much.
I would introduce you to my friend Sujatas. He's my brother monk.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Thomas.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Thomas.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thomas has a lot of questions for you because he wants to understand what we have done when I come and I meet you.
According to our outlook on life, cancer is a different disease. That means the cancer has to be approached in a different way. Because usually you think that there is a cause for a disease and you treat the disease. But when you treat cancer, you have to address the human being as distinctly three individuals. The physical individual who is in the body, and the mental makeup of the person, and also what that person is inside the body and mind. We can call it spirit or the soul. So cancers originate from the soul and it finally manifests in the body. So any remedy that we suggest for cancer should start from the soul. And also through food and medicine. For example, in Nalla's case, it was Ayurveda. Ayurveda treats a person, not the disease. That is
What is Ayurveda?
Ayurveda. That means Veda means
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda.
Yes.
Actually, the word itself is very fascinating because Ayur, that means life.
Ayur is a word in Franglish.
Yeah. Ayu, that means life. Veda is knowledge or science.
It's Veda. It's a science of life.
Science of
Ayurveda is science of life.
Science of life. So we have different basic energies that makes our body and mind function. So there is a basic imbalance in our body and mind. This imbalance manifests as a disease. That is how we see it.
What I know is that conservations in
Yeah.
France, even cured or not cured, are very unhappy in any case. So I think that what would be interesting is to see what is good in what you are doing, good in what we are doing, and try to make an interesting synthesis. If possible.
May I do talk?
Sure.
May I
Allez,
do talk?
toc.
I think I decide to live.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
And he helped me to understand what was life. For me, the only lesson was to understand if you want to live, what do you want to do with your life?
Exactly.
It's the only lesson. It takes 2 or 3 years, yes, because I was a little bit.
My name is Ritodgata, and I am a monk, and I have been a monk more than 22 years. Even before that, for almost 10 years, I was leading a monastic life. And some years of that monastic life, I was also serving as an engineer with the local government. And I have been practicing and teaching meditation since nearly 35 years. In 2002, a group of French people came to our monastery. But we call monasteries in India as ashram. Ashram means it's a place where you rest, or it's an abode. So I will use that word ashram. So some were having some physical problems, some ailments, some chronic ailments. And usually we give them or take them to Ayurvedic doctors. So that was how I was associated with Marinella. We came to know that she had cancer.
En fait, ça, c'est un lieu de culte, et je pense que ce sont des pierres volcaniques. Et au fait, je pense que ce sont des cérémonies qui sont liées à la Lune. Je pense
Mais
que
c'est une construction.
non, ça, c'est certainement une construction. Regardez les pierres qui sont en dessous. Regardez les pierres. Attendez, on va les voir peut-être de là. Et je pense
Il y a
que...
l'esplanade.
Il y a une grande esplanade et je pense que ça doit être en tout cas un lieu de méditation formidable. Ça doit être un lieu de méditation absolument magique. Et oui, effectivement,
Oui, c'est magnifique. Ça.
l'immensité, ça donne une relation à la nature qui est absolument ample, ample.
Ah, c'est une relation. C'est vrai que vous me changez du Val-de-Marne.
Ça, c'est clair
Il a retiré la
qu'entre
pierre,
nous,
il a retiré la
entre
pierre.
nous, entre les néons de Villejuif et ce bel arbre, hein, quand même,
Ça, il y
on
a
y
quand
perd
même
pas au
quelques
champ.
différences. Il y a quand même quelques différences. Écoutez, je vais vous faire un aveu.
Oui. Faites-moi
Vous
les
n'êtes
aveux.
sûrement pas la malade que j'ai suivie le plus longtemps, mais vous êtes celle qui m'avait emmené le plus loin. What I would like to know is when Nella came to see you, what did you do practically?
Actually, we found Marinella as a person who needs help. She had cancer. So, as I told you earlier, cancer has roots in the soul, in the mind, and also in the body. So, I tried to convince her that she must change her outlook on life.
He helped me to understand that I have a problem. And when I go to see you, I was sure that I have a disease. And when I speak with him, he says, forget the disease for a moment. What is the problem? And you cannot, because
For me, you
for you
had a
it's
disease
impossible.
where you had a disease. No, it's possible. But I consider that my main role was to treat your disease.
So,
And with
you
the
have
best
done
possible
that.
care.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do that because you didn't
I would
listen
try to
anything.
modify her statement.
But I tried to do that. And practically, what are your main techniques or methodology to
First,
this?
we try to win the friendship
Yes.
of that person.
And confidence.
Confidence.
And I can tell you that you succeeded because she is your main supporter.
Because we don't have a methodology. We interact with the person and we change. And also, when I deal with a person, especially who is receptive like Marinella, I am not trying to prove my faith on some system on her.
What do you call a person, a receptive person?
Because that is very difficult to define, receptivity. Because when we say something, they are ready to admit it or they understand it.
With me, she was ready to admit nothing. She was the most unreceptive person.
Because I would say you started in a wrong direction.
Probably. For this, you are probably right.
Many people think that I don't want to live or I am not fit to live. Or whatever bad things happen to me, I deserved it.
Yes, this is true. This is true.
So we try to tell them that they don't deserve anything unless they choose consciously. I know once the disease manifested, we should not restrict our treatment to the soul only. We have to address the problem in the mind and then later correct the problems in the body. So for that, we need an adaptive system and also an adaptive person.
An integrated system. Integrated system, which is not the case in Western medicine.
Exactly.
Everything is divided.
So I know that Ayurveda deals with persons, not with diseases. So we took her to an Ayurvedic doctor. But treating the cancer in the body alone is not enough.
No, this I understand. I understand. But what you told me, which is for me very important, when you receive a cancer patient who is previously receiving allotherapy or chemotherapy, you are not telling him, stop it.
Yeah, I will never say
You
that.
will never say that.
Yeah.
You will never say that. You will say that, and then we'll see what happens.
And also when somebody comes to me who is taking allopathic medicines, I would tell them to have some supplementary Ayurvedic medicines.
Yes.
Because Ayurvedic medicines try to correct your body, or to bring the balance of your physical energies. So that can actually go along with allopathic medicine to reduce the damage, to reduce the side effects. The spiritual cure we suggest, and also the mental cure we offer, and also the Ayurvedic medicines, all these are very slow in action.
Yes.
They don't manifest
Yes.
quick results.
Yes, exactly.
So for a person to remain confident that long is difficult. So the allopathy comes to help because it gives measurable results very soon. There are two types of sciences, I would say. Objective science.
Wrong and
No. Objective science and the subjective science. Because the treatment of cancer should be from subjective science. That is, every patient, every system works differently. The same system works differently on different persons. But the objective science is different because every system or medicine works on every patient the same way.
You know, this is extremely interesting, and this is what I want to do in the next years of my life. I think that basic science, very, very basic science, have shown, we know as human beings, as individuals, as philosophers, you know that any individual any is different.
Exactly.
Is different and has to be considered as a unique person.
Yeah.
But what we are learning from the deepest biology is that every tumor is also different.
Yeah.
Is also different. And probably the future is to treat all tumors individually.
Exactly. To be more practical, I will take you to the doctor who treated Marinella. Namaste. Meet Mr. Thomas, the doctor from France.
Thank you.
Meet Mr. Vaidya, Gangadharan Vaidya, who cured Marinella.
It was my Indian doctor, my French doctor. It was a great medicine. It was a great medicine, your medicine.
അല്ല മരുന്ന് വളരെ നന്നായിരുന്നു. So, doctor, Vaidya prescribed two medicines to Marinella.
Which
mainly? One is a
Varanadi Kashayam. Varanadi
Kashayam. And
Chandraprabha pills mixing.
And actually, Kashayam is a decoction. A decoction with many herbs.
And you will show me how
sure.
it is done and what it is.
And Chandraprabha, that's also a tablet made of many herbs.
Local herb?
All of them available locally and prepared in his factory.
So you will show me. Thank you very much for showing me that. Thank you.
For me, it was perfect. It was the right medicine. Thank you.
പിന്നെ അവർക്ക് വളരെ കൃത്യമായിരുന്നു എന്നാണ്. So you may go with Vaidya Nalla. So Thomas, I will take you to that Ayurvedic manufacturing plant. This way, please. That herb, it acts on the blood and also it helps in removing the toxins. So kidney is a main agent of removing toxins from the blood. So that is why I told you that herb is particularly indicated in preparing.
It doesn't mean that you believe that this medicine has a specific action on one organ. It's a general action.
These medicines or particular herb will have specific action on some specific process in our body. But actually, even the same decoction For example, the same decoction, Varnadi Kashayam, can be taken with the potassium salt.
Yes.
And also it can be
another
taken
question.
with honey. It can be taken with some ghee, that is clarified butter. So with each thing, the effect of the medicine is different.
Yes. And all these medicines are coming from plants.
Some from plants, some from minerals and salts.
Some from minerals and salts.
Okay.
Yes, you are also using that.
And also some
Yes.
minerals are put into fire and made into oxides.
And now that you have next door this modern science, you are trying to know which chemical product, which chemical compound is inside of all of this
No,
product.
that will be
You already know.
a little, but I know. But going for the composition of a drug
Yes.
is just like, to excuse me for using a strong word, which is just like understanding, doing a post-mortem examination on a body,
Necropsy.
on how to understand a living organism is functioning. Because a combination of a drug and this thing, how it acts on an organism is very different from the chemical effect of something.
This is true. And
So this is one special herb.
what do you do with that?
We cut it and then put it in water and boil.
And you have many
preparations. And this is also a plant. And this also, actually,
these are common plants in Kerala.
common plants. Actually, I would say this is Saida cordifolia. This is very good in rheumatism and disorders of the brain. And this is also one tuber. This is what we call asparagus.
It's an asparagus.
Yeah.
May I break it?
Yeah, it's a tuber. And also this is very good in cooling the body processes. Cooling, generating some friendly energy or something like that. Yeah. This is being more practical.
Ancestral technique with modern tools.
I have modern tools and
And you are also using to recover here?
For example, rheumatism, then
Arthrosis,
sciatica,
that's it.
sciatic neuritis.
this you know.
Onions,
No. Garlic.
garlic.
Yeah.
Damatpura.
This is, Withania somnifera. This one.
It's very good to sleep.
Yeah. No, it's a brain stimulant.
Brain stimulant.
And also relaxant.
Relaxant.
This is for fever.
For fever. And this one, the red
This
one?
is for bronchial disorders.
Like asthma and
Asthma,
other
yeah.
bronchial disorders.
Fantastic.
Doctor is bringing that tablet which we prescribed for Marinella.
For Marinella.
Yeah. Chandraprabha tablet. Chandraprabha Guliga. See this one.
Yes, these tablets. So it's clear that it looks more sympathetic than chemotherapy.
Yeah, very friendly. You may taste one. No, just chew one. It does
You
not
think
taste
so?
it does not taste very awful.
It's very hard.
It's very hard. I will break my teeth. It's dangerous.
Just leave it there in your mouth for a few minutes, then.
That's very good.
Not very good, I told you it is not less awful.
Less awful, yes.
This is the the decoction we
Yeah.
prescribed for Nalla.
For Nalla.
Yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
maybe what I
I'll
do,
take it
give me the two decoctions given to Nella, and I will try to make it analyzed
Okay,
in Paris.
this one and this one.
This one, yeah.
Okay. The cherry packet ഉണ്ടോ ഇതിലും ചെറുത്?
ഇല്ല
Okay.
100 ഗ്രാമിൻ്റെ പാക്കറ്റാണ് അത് 100 എണ്ണത്തിൻ്റെ
Okay.
പാക്കറ്റ്
This is 100 tablets.
100 tablets.
So this is the minimum.
It's a problem for you to, oh, thank you very
I'll
much.
bring it down.
Thank you very much. This is a
Pushpa.
very beautiful gift. Thank you very much.
If you express the color of a flower in chemical terms or the pigments in the number of pixels or the fragrance, the chemical analysis of a fragrance, but the fragrance itself, the color, the combination, the contrast, everything, it cannot be expressed in logic. So allopathy is more logic, but Ayurveda and other systems, they are more like the way of feelings and the totality.
For me, it's a very interesting and strange visit. It was not exactly what I expected. Just briefly, first I was moved to see the place where Marinella has been treated and to see the doctor who took her in care. But I think I learned more about what you told me on Ayurvedic medicine in general. They are devoted mainly to children with very chronic, severe neuropathic and encephalopathic disease, which was not expected. And this is very specific. And maybe one thing that I would like to discuss in more details with you is that I understand that Ayurvedic is much more to take care of what I would call chronic disease than for acute conditions.
That is one way of looking at it. But when something is acute and when some emergency invasion is needed,
Yes.
allopathy is better. But where allopathy is almost helpless, Ayurveda
Exactly.
can do a lot.
And what I admire is the fact that you are taking chronic disease with much more courage and much more long vision than what we are doing. Because
Yeah.
our results are very poor, but because more or less we are not taking care of these patients, because we are sending them in places where we have no money, no, and they are staying there for the rest of their life in very sad conditions.
Yeah.
We are meeting the director, Mr. Krishna Kumar. Yes. This is Marinella, Professor Thomas.
Thank you very much.
Professor Thomas.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you for welcoming me. It's a pleasure to visit this institution. And I see that you are a man of tradition, of culture, but also a man of progress and opening. Thank you very much. Thank you for welcoming me here. How old is this institute?
This institution, Ayurvedic Pharmacy, the main company was started in 1943.
1943.
And then the hospital, that activity was mainly production of quality traditional Ayurvedic medicine. Hospital was started in 1950. It started in a small way. It was in an outside campus in a rented building, but shifted to this campus in 1977. 77. So it's a 3.5 acres of land. We have 120 bed capacity.
In Dulal, Would you tell me what are the global principles of Ayurvedic medicine? And maybe the specific things that you are doing here during these treatments?
Okay. First, I will tell about the basic principles of Ayurveda. It's the concept about the body and its functioning is totally different from the way the conventional medical system has looked upon. See, we in fact consider body as both structure as well as function in that way. And the importance is given mostly for the functional aspect of the body, which we call as three doshas or three functional principles of the body. The first and the foremost, most important dosha or the functional principle in the body is vata. That's in the Sanskrit terminology. So it's a principle of movement, perhaps the only mobile thing in the body which makes other things also move. The second is pitta, which is the principle of transformation. So any changes happening to the body, whether it is starting from the basic digestion to all the metabolic transformation happening in the body, is brought under the heading pitta. Third is kapha, or the principle of cohesion, which binds together all the things and keeps everything in the shape, structure, cohesion. So these three principles, vata, pitta and kapha, are to be in a state of balance when we are
It's
healthy.
the Greek letter?
No, it's a Sanskrit.
Sanskrit,
Yeah. Vata, pitta, kapha. So these are basically the functional principles which are to be in a state of balance when we are healthy. And when there is an imbalance, there is disease. So whether it is treatment or diet restrictions or lifestyle modification are all meant to bring these three things back to balance. So this is in fact based on a concept that we are nothing but a miniature form of this universe. So whatever you see in the universe, you see within the body. And whatever is there within the body, in fact, in a subtle form is there all over the universe.
So for skin disease?
This is for skin disease. Herbal decoction.
It's for what?
For musculoskeletal and neurological problems. This is again the deity of Lord Dhanvantari.
Medicine.
Lord of medicine.
Want to disturb you?
The symptoms, the histories, the examination. Then we have the observation.
Radiology. This is incredibly important because it's the question I had when arriving in India. The fact that just you accept to have the compounds known, validate, certified, and it means that you will repeat that in 2012, you will repeat it
We have to
again.
repeat that.
J'avais envie que vous veniez ici pour une raison très précise, c'est qu'aujourd'hui en Inde, c'est le lieu le plus en pointe de l'Ayurveda. Et j'avais envie que vous rencontriez ces médecins. Je pense qu'il y a des échanges qui peuvent se faire d'égal à égal.
Oui.
Et j'aimerais juste que vous me disiez ce que vous pensez d'Indoulal.
Alors d'abord, Abdullah, je l'ai trouvé très bien. Mais ceci dit, je l'ai trouvé très bien les autres personnes que j'ai rencontrées avant. Mais je pense que la grande différence, c'est que ceux que j'ai rencontrés au Kerala, et en particulier notre ami Rito Digala, j'ai eu avec lui des conversations extrêmement élevées au plan, je dirais, philosophique, spirituel, humain, moral. Avec Indulal, j'ai eu, pour la première fois, une conversation médicale. Ça, c'est la première chose qui m'a frappé. La deuxième façon, c'est dont l'hôpital est organisé. Ça ressemble à un hôpital. Ça ressemble à un hôpital avec des consultations, avec un enregistrement. Ici, ils sont quand même dans une notion évolutive de la médecine. Ils ont implanté des choses qui n'existaient pas il y a 5 ans, ils ont implanté des choses qui n'expliquaient pas il y a 10 ans. Ils essayent de comprendre ce qu'ils font. Et sur les produits ici, à là, il y a écrit ce qu'il y a dans chacune des bouteilles. Ils ont fait l'analyse.
Vous voilà rassuré.
Mais non, c'est pas du
Vous voilà
tout...
rassuré, il y a une étiquette. Non, mais
Non,
on peut
c'est-
sourire un
c'est-
peu, Thomas. Je sais que c'est sérieux, la médecine, mais
Oui,
c'est quand même
mais ça
fantastique.
ne me rassure en rien.
que
Ça ne me
vous êtes
rassure en
rassuré
rien.
s'il y a une étiquette. C'est la même chose, fondamentalement. Si moi, j'ouvre la bouche et je mets ce truc dans la bouche, c'est exactement la même chose avec ou sans
Non.
étiquette.
L'étiquette, je m'en fous complètement de l'étiquette. Moi aussi, tant que je ne sais pas la lire, tant qu'il y a 10 000 choses dedans. Et c'est pas vrai que je suis rassuré par l'étiquette. En général, Par contre, l'étiquette me semble être le symbole du fait qu'ils veulent comprendre ce qu'il y a dans leurs produits et qu'ils veulent arriver à des produits plus efficaces et qu'ils veulent comprendre comment ça marche. La barrière, elle n'est pas dans l'étiquette ou pas dans l'étiquette, elle est dans le fait qu'ils ne nomment pas les maladies, et dans le fait que moi, dans ma façon de penser, j'ai besoin, enfin le paradigme, c'est une cause, une maladie, un traitement. Et eux ne raisonnent pas du tout comme ça. Et à la limite, quelle que soit la maladie, ils parlent d'ensemble, d'équilibre, ils ne cherchent pas à nommer les maladies, ils ne cherchent pas à comprendre les maladies, ils ne cherchent pas à soigner la maladie, ils cherchent à soigner les... Et là, il y a un hiatus, on ne parle pas exactement de la même chose, et je ne sais pas qui a tort, qui a raison, mais c'est comme ça. C'est pas que ça me rassure ou que ça ne me rassure pas, là, on ne parle pas de la même chose.
We understand disease as, in fact, an entity which is caused by derangement of certain functional and structural aspects of the body. So the purpose of the treatment is to bring back the balance by either eliminating the toxic factors from the body or just by simply pacifying the deranged factors. Doshas are the functional principles of the body which governs all the activities in the body. So any physiological functions can be broadly classified under all these three headings. In Sanskrit we call it as Vata, Pitta and Kapha. What we actually do is different types of massage. What is more popular and more effectively practiced is oil massage. In Sanskrit it is known as Abhyanga, which is nothing but application of medicated oil on the head, face and all over the body. So there we need to understand a little bit of the treatment principles of Ayurveda. It's always the opposites. When there is a disease is caused by dryness, or when there is an aggravation of dryness in the body, you give the opposite of dryness. It is a lubricating, oily thing. So when there is increase of cold properties in the body, you treat with hot thing. So that there is a balance. So this is the basic Ayurvedic principle of treatment. So that's why a traditional Ayurvedic company manufactures around 150 varieties of oil in that. Ayurveda considers, very interesting thing is that as a body is compared to an inverted tree with its root on top and branches and trunk down. So any treatment is just like watering or irrigating the roots of a plant. So though it is only done to the head, its effect is supposed to reach the most distal part of the body. Another treatment is Shirovasti. Shiro again means head, Shiras it represents. Vasti means something to retain whatever medicated fluid we are going to. Shirovasti is effective in diseases of various ear, nose, throat diseases, degenerative problems of the spine, neck, migraine, and other neurological problems. This combination of, say, Abhyanga, Dhara, Pidichal, Navarakiri is also done in very recuperative phase of various illnesses, including certain type of cancer, we can say.
No, he is taking care of me.
He's taking care of you.
Very well.
Very well.
Actually, he had been diagnosed with CA prostate.
Yes, and he had an orchidectomy.
Yeah, and secondary is in the spine.
And you feel much better now.
Yeah, yeah. Now PSA has come down to because of that 0.3.
And you still have follow-up with PSA?
It has moved off for only 3 months.
Not for 3 months.
And today I will be getting my PSA result.
Yeah, today we will get the
Because I think for you, if you to convince, if you can repeat PSA after each Ayurvedic course and show that PSA is decreasing with Ayurveda alone,
Last time it was
would be
clear.
it would be enormous.
Last year, no, when he came for the treatment, and after the treatment, drastically it came down actually.
Right, right.
2 or 3 things which are of interest. First, he's very well and very satisfied and in very good shape for 83. So it's
Thank you, sir.
so it's good anyhow. Second, I think it's very important to see, for me, that you are not stopping the former treatment. And
That is more important, sir.
and it's a sign of open mind, and it means that we can try to do things together. Because
Also, I'm trying to reduce the complications.
yes,
Actually.
yeah, no. This is very clear to me. This is very clear to me. But on the other hand, you have difficulties to evaluate what Ayurveda is precisely doing, because you are giving both therapies, allopathy and Ayurveda.
There is no progression of the disease.
No, it's true. But again, a Western doctor will argue that it's because he's missing hormonal treatment. And you're not, you see the point. So I think you have to convince that you are doing something additive to that.
It's a case of basal cell carcinoma.
Removed surgically?
Yeah, that there was an abscess actually. That they have
It's a
removed.
complication after surgery.
Yeah.
It was a large one. That it's not possible to graft it?
They had tried, sir.
They have tried.
Yeah.
And you are treating him for how long?
Last almost 2 years, I think. Yeah.
But it's a pity that he has been treated so late because
it's late.
if it is still better after some more courses of treatment, would you consider it again for a graft?
Even now they are continuing both the treatments, sir, actually.
But you think that you will send him to a surgeon to try to have a graft skin?
Already they have tried many times.
Yes, but now it's better.
Now it's better.
If it's still improving, you would
Yeah,
consider that?
definitely, sir. I'm open actually. Patient has to improve. No, that is my.
No, but it's.
This time
it's a pitiful story.
Yeah. And so
I think this is the largest case I have seen in my life.
Is it? വേദന എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട്? അത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നിൽക്കും. വേദന കുറവുണ്ട്. അല്ലേ? Every day they are washing with the medicated water, sir. So after washing that, there will be little bleeding, then there is no pain.
Your topics is fantastic. I think maybe an interest for us would be to use that for patients undergoing radiotherapy, severe radiation, maybe to prevent skin problems in those patients. Maybe you would be interested to do that study with me?
Definitely, sir. Definitely. It's good for the public, no? We have to come out with some other new techniques. All of us has to join together for the betterment of human being, no?
Thank you.
പൊന്നെ പന്ത്രണ്ട് മുളക് കാട്ടുമുളക്
Just smell it. In Ayurveda, there is no one plant, one disease association. Sometimes there may be 50, 60 ingredients used in one preparation. So the preparation will be well balanced. Ayurveda is actually a health care system, more a health care system than a system of treating diseases. Of course, that is one part. But the basic principle is, if your body is healthy, there won't be any disease. So Ayurveda is advising to keep the body healthy according to certain norms, according to certain lifestyle, daily routine, etc. Even today, comparatively few people are studying plants as a whole. They are going to molecular level, micro level studies. They forget about the plant. Only the molecules are important to them. But we are natural objects. We are part of nature. We cannot go against the principles of nature. In spite of all the technological development, scientific achievements, we are still basically part of nature. Just like a grass or just like a grasshopper, we are also part of the nature. There are several plants which are mentioned as useful in treating cancer. But we lack actual experimental data.
You have a list of those plants?
Oh, yes.
Yes, a lot, a very long list. You will give me a copy of this list?
Oh, yes.
This is very kind of you. Thank you very much. But I recognize some names. You know that we are also using chemicals, as you say, extracted from plants as very potent anti-cancer agents.
You are isolating only one part from
this is
that.
true.
But instead, if you are using the whole thing, that will be more natural and that will be more familiar to the body. Because treatment for cancer is always having side effects, so many side effects.
I'm an oncologist. My field is cancer. Because of a complicated story of a patient who has been treated both in my institute, in my cancer institute, and here, I would like to understand better the differences and further if we are speaking of the same thing or not, and it can be complementary. And I think your experience could be quite interesting if you accept, because you have both culture. You are living in London?
Yes, I am.
But you are from Indian origin?
Yes.
When were your breast cancer diagnosed?
In November 2008.
In London?
In London.
Where have you been treated? In which hospital in
At
London?
the Royal Marsden Hospital.
Royal Marsden, the famous one?
Yeah, the famous one for cancer, yes. Because of the reduction mammoplasty, somehow my sutures got septic because I'm diabetic.
You had infections,
Yes.
scars, infections.
Yes. What the doctors at Royal Marsden, what they said was that the sepsis is because of the radiotherapy, and a lot of fat necrosis
It was on the same side.
on the same side, fat necrosis.
So despite the fact that it was absolutely not a severe case of cancer, it wasted months of your life as well because of the complications of treatment.
Yes, a whole year.
And how was your morale at that time?
I was pretty low, because if you're kept on antibiotics for a long period of time, and then the fact that this is a very painful period, it was more painful rather than having the operation.
I
So,
understand, yes.
you know, the pulse and the dressing, all that was very painful. So then that was the period when I just couldn't go through with it. And that's when I decided that I would like to retire. So I retired from my work. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's normal. Take your time. It's painful. Our discussion is.
No, it's just, it brings back memories of the pain.
Such sad memories.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Dr. Ravindran treats me, Dr. Ravindran, the medical director here.
Yes, I know him.
And I explained to him everything about the cancer, the breast cancer, and how I haven't got the cancer back, but I'm getting this sepsis. They used to give me a paste which I had to apply at night for half an hour. After that, I have not had any infection
Really?
at all. Ayurveda is, again, it's not just to do with the meditation or with the spiritual part of it. They have the medicines which they are giving, they are time tested and they are working. It's just the principle is different. It's because it's curing your whole body, the system in your body. What they believe is the disease, you're getting the disease because there's a lot of toxins in your body. So when they get rid of the toxins, then you're able to get rid of the disease. So this is how they're treating the medicated oils, the different therapies which they're giving you. And they're also giving you medicines to take in. All these medicines are working towards taking out all the toxins in your body at cellular level.
J'aime la paix de ce lieu. Je crois que je pourrais y rester des heures. Alors, je ne sais pas si c'est le résultat du bain, parce que je ne sais pas comment il a été pour vous, mais moi, il est complètement régénérateur. Je trouve ce... Je ne sais même pas un rituel, je ne sais pas comment on peut appeler ça. Cette promenade dans l'eau et cette rencontre avec le mercure, moi, ça me donnerait presque des ailes. Alors, je sais que Mercure en avait, mais ça me donnerait presque des ailes. Vous, c'était comment?
Alors, moi, c'est quand même une expérience très étonnante et très étrange et qui m'a appris des choses. Moi, c'est surtout ça. Moi, ce que j'aimerais, c'est que pour une fois, on ne parle pas de médecine.
Ben
et
là,
qu'on parle de voilà, qu'on en est loin et qu'on parle des quelques moments qu'on a vécus qui touchent à ce qu'il faut appeler la spiritualité ou la religion. Alors, je suis totalement athée et a priori totalement non sensible à cette dimension et en plus très marqué familialement par la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. Et je pense que c'est autour de ça que la vie et la vie humaine est probablement ce qu'il y a pour moi de plus important.
Je peux poser une question? Vous n'avez rien ressenti du tout?
Bien sûr que
Ou
si.
à un moment, il y a quelque chose qui a fait toc-toc, qui a dit « Tiens, bonjour Thomas, je suis là ». Quelque chose, c'est un peu naïf la façon dont je l'ai dit, mais...
Je pense que je suis inchangé dans mes convictions, dans ma façon de penser,
ça, je peux le croire, oui.
Je me sens plus cultivé, je me sens comprenant mieux ce qui s'est passé, je me sens très impressionné. Je pense que ce que j'ai appris est plus du domaine du sociologique. C'est l'importance du lien que crée entre les gens la pratique d'une religion et les rites qui vont autour d'une religion.
Some kind of post-operative problems as well. She has a very sensitive stomach.
Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Thank you very much. You give me a big gift. Thank you, really.
What are you doing?
I'm retired.
Ram
I'm really convinced that there is a science here, that there is a knowledge, there is a tradition. It's no doubt that it can have some efficacy in a number of diseases. I'm convinced by intuition, but not by evidence-based. And I have seen striking things which I can't explain with my current knowledge. So I have to think about and to understand better. It doesn't mean that I am converted to, I'm not becoming an Hindu or an Ayurvedic doctor. I still have my belief and I still believe in my science. But I'm convinced that something is happening here. Maybe our doctors have not the same internal qualities than yours.
But Ayurveda, in fact, teaches to be questioning in nature. In that.
Yes.
You are not allowed to take anything for granted.
And a number of Western doctors are arrogant persons, thinking that they have science and knowledge. And we should change that.
Very good.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Je fais 15 000 km pour faire quoi? 30 cm. Je passe de là à là. Qu'est-ce qu'ils m'ont appris ici? Ils m'ont appris que j'étais pas ce que je pensais être socialement, que j'étais pas mon corps, que j'étais pas toutes les pensées, tout le bordel, on peut dire ça, qui était dans ma tête, que j'étais bien autre chose. Donc à la fois, tu comprends, quand j'essaye de t'expliquer que je peux remercier cette maladie, je comprends.
Ce qui me choque.
Mais je comprends que ça te choque et que ça te mette en
Je pense
rogne.
que cette maladie est une malédiction.
Non, mais je comprends que ça te choque et ça te mette en rogne. Mais si moi je refais le parcours...
Et puis c'est ton parcours à toi. Il ne faut pas que tu deviennes un modèle.
Mais attends, j'ai absolument pas l'intention de le devenir.
Voilà, c'est ça,
Moi,
c'est la seule chose que je voudrais qu'il soit clair
entre
entre nous.
Mais non, mais j'ai absolument...
Je suis très heureux de ce qui t'est arrivé. Je suis très heureux qu'on se retrouve là. Je pense que tu n'es pas absolument le modèle idéal à suivre. Mais bon, chacun son opinion.
Non, moi simplement ce que je pense, c'est que ce qui est fondamental, c'est que chacun décide de sa vie.
Ce qui m'a le plus étonné, c'est les gens. C'est les gens et la qualité des gens que j'ai rencontrés, la qualité humaine des gens que j'ai rencontrés. J'ai rencontré en quelques jours, alors tu me les avais sélectionnés, des personnes formidables, avec qui, effectivement, dont j'aimerais avoir certains dans mon institut. J'ai vu des gens qui avaient une culture, une profondeur, qui avaient réfléchi, et ça m'a ému, touché. J'ai eu des discussions d'un niveau extrêmement élevé, peut-être de gens, si tu veux que je dise le mot admirable, j'ai admiré un certain nombre de personnes que j'ai rencontrées. J'ai vu des malades heureux, j'ai vu des malades qui avaient envie de revenir. C'est rare de voir ça dans les hôpitaux français. Quand tu es dans un hôpital, tu as envie de te tirer et tu n'as pas envie de dire je resterai dans ma chambre pour l'année prochaine. Alors j'en fais pas le même métier, la même maladie, etc. Il y a des différences. Mais j'ai été frappé par le fait que des malades soignés aux États-Unis ou des malades soignés en Angleterre, certes d'origine indienne, mais quand même, disent pour mon cancer, je suis suivi là-bas, mais pour me remettre et être pris en charge humainement, moralement et pour récupérer, c'est beaucoup mieux ici. C'est quelque chose que j'entends et que je reçois, que je comprends et dont j'essaierai de m'inspirer. So we have a common enemy, which is death.
I have to contradict.
Please.
That death is not an enemy, but cancer is an enemy.
Cancer is an enemy. This is clearly...
From the moment a person knows that he's stricken with cancer, he's always thinking about when he will die. So this should be changed.
It brings the daily idea of your own death.
Exactly.
In your daily life, which is something unbearable for most of us.
Philosophically, remembering your death is very good, because then you will do only good things to yourself and also to others. But here, you are creating a kind of panic, an emergency situation.
It's true. I think it's true in the West as well.
Yeah, everywhere.
In which the family situation, the social situation, the professional situation is destroyed, and it changed the way the other ones are looking at you, and it changed the way you are looking to the other one, and it changed your vision of life, even if the treatment is successful, even if you live long. Your vision of the rest of is changed, is modified.
So do you think that if we change the definition of care we give the patient, even what is your opinion that recently people with psychiatric problems, they were referred to as patients, but nowadays psychologists are referring to them as clients.
It's true, yes.
Everybody is spiritual because spirit is in everybody. That is my faith, that is my knowledge. So everybody is spiritual, but organized religion and organized systems of expressing spirituality, they may be lacking it. So deep inside, everybody knows that they are something more than their body and mind. Because their mind is changing, their attitude is changing. But still the person is saying, I, the sense of I, which is, that does not change. So there is something more in every individual. That is spirit or the soul. And whether they express it, or whether they feel it, or whether they are using their body and mind to enrich what is going on deep inside, that is different. So everybody is spiritual. I found Dr. Thomas an open person. The very fact that he came to India to explore something new, that itself is a good beginning.
Mais là, on est presque au bout de ce voyage. Il y a un dernier mot que je voudrais te dire. Je voudrais te dire merci. En général, c'est pas dans ce sens-là que ça se passe, mais là, le médecin dit merci à la malade. D'abord, cette idée de voyage auquel je n'avais jamais cru, que je prenais pour une blague, nous l'avons fait. Tu l'as fait. Et c'était un voyage fabuleux. C'était un voyage fabuleux dans un pays fabuleux. Et j'ai appris des choses. Moi, ce que j'aime le plus, c'est découvrir et apprendre. Et grâce à toi, j'ai découvert et j'ai appris des choses. Merci.
Bah écoute, moi je te dis merci d'avoir eu confiance. Et surtout, j'ai un sentiment d'une mission accomplie. C'était ce que je voulais faire. C'était pour moi extrêmement important de restituer cette expérience-là. Je crois que maintenant tu peux comprendre pourquoi c'était important. Et je suis ravie qu'on l'ait fait ensemble.
Tenez la main, la main.
Bon.
La main.
Alors, attendez.
Hop, on est calme.
Oui.
Ayez confiance en la main de la médecine.
vraiment infernal. Je crois qu'on va jamais pouvoir te changer. J'ai eu un moment d'espoir, mais je crois que j'y arriverai jamais. Finalement, reste comme tu es. Thomas, bouge pas, change rien. Finalement, c'est pas plus mal.